You still have time, or?
No, it's someone that I just recorded again. It's I'm waiting. It's a call from a bank, so I kept the phone here on. Would you like to continue?
So yeah, there is another. It's connected again with this new chart that I got, which is from a friend, and interesting to see it now. Also good timing. Like, we have just finished recently a project, so we are not in contact. Actually, I mean, we are not working together at the moment, but we have been recently. And now I can see the chart, and it's like I can look at it from a distance, and it's nice. We had a lot of difficulty in this process.
Mm-hmm.
I could say, like, we had this constant, and then I saw, okay, the experience was we had 4 or 5 residencies, so like chunks of working together. And each time it was a struggle, and then it went okay again, and then it was a struggle, and then it went okay again. These different states of a state where you think, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And then it comes down, and again it resolves itself a bit, and you're like, okay, it seems to work, and then it comes again to the point where it doesn't work. And then I saw we have so I have the 36 and he has the 35 as well. I just found it interesting. I don't know if it's because of that, just to see. And apart from that, he was, let's say, officially in charge of the project. I don't know. He was initiating it. He was giving the concept. I was more the person who joins. He asked me, do you want to work on a duet together? So I was, let's say, officially less in charge. But in fact, then when we were working together, so he came with his ideas of I want to work on this and that, and tasks to work on. But then when we were actually working, it most of the time came back to me about bringing it further, like either to kind of keep on going, because he had the tendency to get lost or to lose faith in whatever he was doing, and then and also many times he started an idea, and then it was like it's like a writer who starts to write a chapter, but then he all of a sudden doesn't know what to say anymore. He has this idea and he starts talking about it, but he doesn't know what to say anymore and how to finish it. And so this happened a lot, and I had the feeling that I was contributing the energy to do something, and to, I don't know, whatever. Also, I sometimes then kept on like trying to see, I don't know how to call it, but let's say we were working on something and then he lost his track, so I just shared with him, what do I see as possibilities in this spectrum? And then he caught it up again. And a lot of times when I was talking, he was just repeating my words. Like, let's say I talk to you and you always repeat the last 3 words of my sentence, like as if you're recapturing it. Also interesting to see, as he has a G, Ajna, and head open, for example, and sacral also. And then another thing, is it okay? I'm still sharing. I feel that my thoughts are still very scattered, but it seems still okay. The other thing was also, again, these dancers' charts, and or people that I know from dancing experiences, and I see the chart, and then also seeing a big difference between dancers who have a defined solar plexus or an undefined solar plexus in the way that they perform, in the way that they express. I also remember that you mentioned once, you remember you have sent me this video of Rosa, and you were mentioning that it was always sensual.
Mm-hmm.
And I see something, at least from the dancers that I have their chart and they have a defined emotion, like defined solar plexus, I can totally, maybe not sensual, like Zoe for sure, she, whenever she was performing, it was either she was performing expressing pain or sensuality for me. And I remember myself getting like bored by it and being like, how can you always be like this anyhow? And then other people, maybe it's other emotions, but it is very emotional and very, very much in the facial expression as well. And it's actually something that I could never do. I always had the impression I could not. Like also with this friend in the project, he's somebody who expresses a lot of joy in his face when he dances. He likes that. I don't know. Also a lot of different expressions, and there was a part where he wanted me to do the same. And I simply could not, and I told him at one point, look, I cannot. This is like extremely fake for me to do that. I don't say that it's fake for you, but for me it is. So yeah, I can really see this, or I seem to see emotional expression, and for me it really has a lot to do with facial expression in those people. And then when I see a very good friend of mine, she's a dancer, she has an open solar plexus, and she's a very expressive dancer. And I realized when I thought about that she's expressive, but her expression is much more about, I would call it states of being, rather than emotions. And it's just also interesting to get this, to refine these ways of looking at things, of naming things. So somebody can be expressive, but this doesn't necessarily have to do anything with emotions, but it can. That was, I think, most of it, or some of it, what I thought about those days, and that just came into my thoughts, came into my consciousness when I looked at things and from my own experience. And I really see, now that I share it, I really see that there is nothing to put in a book into a rule. Like I cannot say people with a lower part defined are rather dancers or whatever. It's just like also qualities or activities that I see in people. I'm not interested in making rules, but it is very interesting to observe. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh wow, so many arrows.
Yeah, first of all, would you like to hear something? You want to ask something?
So it's special hanging gates. You didn't put an arrow to every hanging gate, right?
Not to every at this moment. I'll put here the 18, and this we already like. This is more, again, at least what Rai is saying. This aspect where you have the 23 and the 11. Like now you have the rave itching, right? You have the access to it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so you can actually observe. Can you observe their quality? Yeah, can you read the names of the gate and listen to the stories, to what you are sharing, and slowly can you see for yourself, what do you see, from which part that come? Now, does some of your things come from judging as correcting? Yeah, the 18 is a lot of this, goes up to the 16, and there's a pressure, but this aspect of can you spot that in your words now? Because basically these are things you're here to be wise about. What corrections do people bring? Now, I don't want to put that in specifically in your words as regarding whether that was or not. Yeah, like perhaps because you shared some things, and then later maybe when we listen, things will come up. And looking at looking at the pressure and at the lessons, and it's not necessarily in the context of now what you shared, perhaps. But can you look at the lessons that life brings you in each of these gates as regarding to your story? This is also some more homeworks, yeah?
Can I ask something?
Uh-huh.
So just to clarify for myself, the lesson is, if we look at the 36, 35, my lesson is in the 35, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Your lesson is about changes and progresses, to go from inexperience to experience. But who brings what change and what progress? I have a 35. Perhaps I brought a progress and a change to the next experience in your life, and you brought, perhaps like I shared with you one time, the crisis, 36, and the conflict. Life will bring you progress in conflict or changing conflicts, because you have gate 6 and you have gate 35. Now you have gate 19. I'm just giving keynotes. When you start reading them, that's what happens. It's not a course I took. Ra gives courses about it, but when I listened so often to Ra, it was there about, and you have the gate of 19 about wanting, or approach. So it perhaps can be and again, just as a keynote, what I like with Lila and Derman again, and this is, I really feel like partially I take from them how they put it, the design, and they look and they listen and they draw at the middle. So they hear your story and they point you more specifically, and that's what I feel like I'm doing now. So it's about wanting a conflict to progress. Yeah. Why? You have the gate of wanting, and it's a need. But it's not your story. Someone will bring, and again, I'm just putting keynotes.
What gate of wanting?
19 is the gate of wanting, gate of need.
I do not have.
Yeah, so life will bring you all of that. Someone will bring this. And again, these perhaps will not be your dominant so-called, or the lessons that the mind will observe, because the mind is mainly focused on assimilating ideas. This gate that bridge your splits between the ajna and the throat. But when you more live yourself, you refine the experience. You're observing. This is why it's a meditation. This is why it's an observation tool. Fantastic for me. Yeah. So the 19 is the gate of wanting. So you're here to be wise about needs of others. About what others want. How do they approach to this wanting? And again, this is in along with other courses. Some of that perhaps it won't be through courses like this sharing, or most of the things I learned through listening to lectures, and but I did follow like the Rave ABC structure that, like I'm saying, I just put it out there, like Yeah, because about the simple, complex, simple, I go with this information and where it also comes from. Now you have the gate 39 that is open and looking at the 55. I also have that. Yeah, it's provocation. The gate of provocation. Yeah, I don't remember always opposing or obstructing. I always mix them both. Oops. Let's see if I can, if I can look at well, through all this mess. I don't know even how do I hide it. Annotation. I don't know. Maybe at one point I will have a look at that. Okay, because Gaia has this gate. Let's see what it brings. 39. Yeah. Yeah, obstruction. So obstruction is the gate. So, but it's provocation. So life will bring you a provocation of people wanting a conflict to progress. It's just games of the keynotes. It might be separate, it might be together. And you might take these words. It's like a game. When you take these words and you take like a puzzle, yeah? So like I told you, this is part of the course, like the knowledge that I'm sharing with you. This is how I do it. So you have the channel of charisma, channel of awareness, and the channel of leadership, for good or bad, channel of the alpha, design of leadership. So you're a charismatic leader with awareness, or aware charismatic leader. Same thing I do with the openness. I take the gates. It's like more than just, first is looking at your experience so you can learn what you can be wise about. Second is how you look at the map. So I'm kind of giving the things here. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now that you have the Ray V Ching and you might start looking, but again, unless you understand, this is why we go through the structure of the LYD and later on perhaps the Ray ABC. Unless you understand the centers, yeah, okay, what is this root? To what it relates? It's physical pressure, adrenaline, solar plexus, what does it bring? Sacral, each center, this is why we go step by step. And later on in the Ray ABC, yeah, is it black or is it red? Is it my body or is it supposed to be for outer authority, for someone else? Is it black? Am I aware of that? Is it in my body? A lot of layers we deconstruct here. And so I felt like now you have that. And yeah, can you look at the gates I point out? And then you can you observe your experience? Can you observe when life brings you something or someone that tries to correct something? Or do you try to correct something? Channel 18, channel of correct, working on what's being spoiled. That's kind of like what I felt like sharing, because that's the beauty, what I feel about the depth, but it's also the simplicity of this human design. Once you get the hang of it, it's like a game. Like I went alone, like as homework. Can you? And that comes in Rave ABC, but I'm giving it like, if you want it now. Can you, let's see, can you take these open gates and make a keynote out of it? Okay, I'll go one step back. I'll give you like an assignment, perhaps if you want to do that. In the Rave ABC, and like I'll clear everything up. So in the presentation, it will be there recorded. You can go back and look at it. First, I'll clear, erase, clear all drawings. Good. So I'll give you an example, and then perhaps I'll be ready to go to it. I'll take my design as an example. And the more I have definition, the challenging it is. So I take two stories. Okay, yeah, is it okay that I'll say something to finish with? Good. Two stories. First, the not self story. What is my not self story? Yeah, I am let's say, yeah, I look at these two gates, two centers. So, am I trying to avoid confrontation and truth by thinking of things that don't matter? This is my not self. My not self wants to think of things that don't matter so it can avoid confrontation and truth. Voila. This is an example. Can you look at your openness and create a story out of it?
Many.
You have the open centers, and you also have, let's just take these two gates, and you have this 23 and the 11 ideas and a simulation. So can you make a story out of it? There's no right or wrong. This is the first step of keynoting. The second story is the true self. In response, I bump into something so I can transmit my curiosity, my stories, by being absorbed with myself, in the now, with this increased awareness, as an example. So I take all the channels. This I'm not sure if it's available for you. Like when I the names of the channels. This is why I purchased. Like I have the access, like this. I have the name. Do you have the names of the channels?
Like, can you give an example?
When you look at your design in My Body Graph, do you have the name of the channel?
Well, if I, for example, I go on my 6124, it says the channel of awareness, a design of a thinker.
Perfect, enough. That's the important thing. You have that, you can start keynoting. Now
only, but I think that's the same for you. I cannot do that with open channels.
But
I only redefine things.
Me too. I cannot click on something. It's not accessible also here.
Okay.
But let's see. Perhaps in the I Ching. Let's see. Yeah, you see here. You see this screen?
I just see my chart.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Okay.
I think also in between you said you would share yours. I did not see that.
Yeah, I will make a sharing of another screen. Okay, yeah. Let's do the desktop. Okay, can you see my screen now? Can you see? Can you see this I Ching?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see that I'm standing on gate 1? Now you can see here the channel.
Okay.
Okay.
This is what you have and I do not have.
But did you?
See. Of course. Wait. Sorry. Now I'm double checking. How do I get that? Yeah. Is it? Yeah, I do have it too.
So you can see all the channels, right?
Oh, okay. I have not entered that yet. Okay, thank you.
I wasn't sure like it you, but now I just I saw. So,
okay.
But we're not going into that. Later on, this is again, you see a design of someone. I did it for a while. Like I just wrote the names of the channel of awakening, channel of curiosity, the channel of intimacy, and I made a story out of it. So I'm here to respond, and when I respond, I'm a judgmental, curious, awakening, power being. Yeah, whatever. Now I have 9 channels, so I can make a story. Blah. Yeah, you have 3 channels, but you can play with it, right? And with the not self, you can start with just. Can you start with just the open centers and this gate 23 and 11. Now, if you want, yeah, you can go on and the gate that I pointed out, 35, 30, 35, 39, you can look at their names, and it's kind of, I don't want to call it advanced level, but I just did it as a game, yeah. So so let's give as another example perhaps, and that we haven't entered because you look at definition, splits, so on and so forth. But I'll give you another example. Like I take Irene's chart, and I have here, yeah, she has the split here and here, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the not self of her, yeah, wants to end a conflict, and how she does that? She wants to prove that she can end the conflict by not knowing when enough is enough. By holding on to something that isn't good for her. Why? Because I took this gate of conflict, gate of the endings, yeah, the 42, and you have the names of the gates. This is how we can learn the gates, make it a game. This is how I did it, at least. And she has the heart that wants to prove, and the spleen that's holding on to what isn't good for her. So she, by holding on to what isn't good for her, she tries to prove that she can end the conflict, or she will look for someone that will end the conflict for her. But there is the true self. So I'm giving, now you can play with it, see where it takes you, okay?
Uh-huh.
Like making a game with the knowledge. And then it helps to, during that, to look at, okay, and then maybe another design you look at. This way you can also learn the things by playing with them, with each center. Okay, so this person has the open G. So what's the not self question of the open G, remember?
Are you looking for love and direction?
So blah 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 blah. Now it's important, again, Ra was emphasizing that it's important when you do this keynoting, and it's really just for, yeah, he did it, it's like teachers or whatever, but that you take your type when you do the true self, that you take your type, your strategy, and your inner authority, because otherwise your true self will not reveal itself. Yeah, if you are initiating, you will not be an aware, charismatic leader. No, it's not that it's true or not, etc. But it's up for you to find out. But that's how he played with it, and yeah. Wow. I enjoyed it. I never gave a class like that.
I was just going to say, it feels like an amazing class, or different, or great. Those adjectives. Good. Very, very good. Very teaching. Really teaching.
Let's say, yeah. Would you like to hear something?
You want to share?
This is, I'm now in contact with Lila and Darman, that perhaps I'll go through coaching with them, not certified analysts, schmanalysts. I feel my qualities, people respond to that, I feel like some parts are natural that I share, and I enjoy it, and I do it for my own sake. You take what you take. I love what I did now. I can feel it in my body. So I do with them as I saw what they gave me through the courses, all these arrows, all this pinpointing, again, along with a lot of lectures. I listen to Ra, I'm listening to Gaia. I have great sources. And so it was nice that I might go with them through whatever coaching is there to work with people, but not because but you see, I give it to you, I'm certification, whatever. I see crappy people have certifications, 10,000 on certifications on the wall, and it's really about being correct. And like I say again, you're really helping me, because I have someone to take out this outer authority, to practice this teaching, not for the sake of teaching, but because it satisfies me. And once you start teaching, once I experience it, it's a whole different way of learning. So it's really, and again, until the process of the student becomes, the colleague of the teacher, or he is contributing. Like, I don't see what you see. Gaia doesn't see what I see. My mom doesn't, and I don't see what they see. So it's really about the collaboration. This is how I see it. And I see it opens another path, because it's really not necessarily about being this certification, this path, this whatever. Just having fun with life, right? Good for now.
Great.
So bye-bye. I'm going to eat, okay?
Okay, bye bye, Yaniv.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.